What's up guys, Lewis here from Indie Credible with the rather huge news that Indie Credible are back. Well, I say back, we're not really back because we never actually went away. All we done was took a 5 or 6 week kind of break over the Christmas period where we reset our batteries, went over our content of 2018 and decided what we want to bring you in 2019. And that's why I'm back here to tell you what we're bringing you in 2019. We've got 3 weekly scheduled shows for you, 2 monthly scheduled shows, and a ton of one-off content. So without going on anymore, let's dive into the weekly scheduled shows. Up first, we are kicking off with the Indie Credible podcast. Now this is kind of the highlight of the channel, or especially it's the content that we like making the most. The Indie Credible podcast is a weekly indie game show, available in both audio and video form. And it's where we sit down and we chat about the indie games we've been playing, giving kind of mini reviews on them. We go through the latest indie game news and we cover a main topic. For example, a topic might be 10 indie games we cannot wait to play in 2019. Now, as I said, we love making the Indie Credible podcast and we love sharing our opinions on them. It's a pretty relaxed affair, guys. We sit down, we grab some beers, we chat about indie games, and genuinely, we just have a lot of fun and we'd love you to join us. This year, each new episode of the Indie Credible podcast will go live every Monday evening, 7 PM GMT time. The next piece of indie game goodness that we're going to bring you weekly is the weekly indie game console releases. Now this is a video that used to run for most of last year, but we had to stop it purely because most of the Nintendo Switch was having around 20 indie games releasing alone. We was getting to around 30 indie games a week releasing on different consoles, and if I'm being honest, with our small modest team, it was very hard to keep up with. Now, we kind of streamlined that, and what we're doing this year is we're bringing you our top 10 indie game console releases every week. Now this video will go live every Tuesday around about midday GMT time. And as I said, it's going through 10 indie games releasing on consoles that week that we recommend you should be checking out. Most of the games mentioned in these videos, we will be playing ourselves. So you can hear our thoughts on them on the Indie Credible podcast. The final piece of weekly indie game content that we're going to bring you is very similar to this video, and it's our weekly indie game news roundup. Now these videos will go live midday every Saturday GMT time, and they'll take you through the top indie game news stories to release throughout the week. These videos are great for just about anyone, especially those who are in a rush and don't have much time to watch many YouTube videos. We look to wrap up all the news from the world of indie gaming in around 3 or 4 minutes from the previous week. Now moving on to our monthly content, we're going to start off with the Indie Game Hotlist, or the monthly Indie Game Hotlist, which is basically a flashy way of saying top 5 recommended indie games releasing throughout the month ahead. For example, the first video will go live at the beginning of February, and there'll be a recommendation of 5 indie games releasing throughout February that we are definitely going to be playing, and most of them we will be reviewing. The monthly Indie Game Hotlist is a piece of content that we've been doing since the very beginning of Indie Credible, and it's one I love doing, delving through the indie games that are coming up and trying to work out on which 5 that I'm personally looking forward to playing and that I should recommend you guys. The second and final piece of monthly indie game content that we're going to bring you is the Not So Indie Show. Now this kind of goes against the whole name of the channel and the whole brand of the channel, as it's called the Not So Indie Show, and it is a show where we chat about everything other than indie games. I say that, we still normally talk about indie games because we love them so much. But this is where we delve into the world of AAA gaming. We talk about controversies around the world of AAA gaming. We talk about big AAA games we've been playing. And we share our impressions from the world, as I said, of AAA gaming. This is a monthly show and it will go live in the middle of each month. It's worth pointing out that anyone who does support us on Patreon will get 1 week early access to these shows in both audio or video form. But at Indie Credible, guys, we really love making indie game content, and the scheduled shows or scheduled videos are just the start of it. We will also be releasing a ton, and I really mean it, a ton of one-off videos. These will mostly consist of indie game reviews, indie game impressions, and our What Is videos, where we play through the first 30 minutes and chat about our impressions of the game and ask the most important question at the end of that time: do we want to keep playing this game? These videos will go live to coincide with the games we're talking about, so we'll be based around those games' releases. As I said earlier, guys, we are a small and modest team at Indie Credible, but one that genuinely does love indie games. There's nothing more than we love to push indies out there for more of the world to see. If you want to help us grow and help support us, you can do over on patreon.com/Indie Credible. We have 3 different tiers available to support us at, all of which will get you exclusive access to the pre- and post-show Indie Credible podcast content and access to our Discord server, which is new for 2019. As Indie Credible has grown over the past 2 years, we've managed to build up a very nice little community, and we'd love for you to join that community. And Discord is one way to do so. On the Discord channel, we have fans of Indie Credible who are looking to play games with other gamers, and we'll be jumping on there as well, as we'll need help reviewing different games, especially the multiplayer ones. And we'll be looking for your guys' help to jump in and play some games with us. With you guys supporting us on Patreon, we'll be able to upgrade our recording equipment and even travel to shows and events where we can get our hands on pre-release indie games and get the news to you guys with our full impressions. If you can't support us on Patreon, guys, Trust me, we are not offended. Just watching these videos, hitting a little like, leaving a comment below, or subscribing to the channel means the world to us. Honestly, every little bit of feedback we get from the community really does make us smile. And we'd love for you guys to join this community, whether that's on Patreon or whether that's just by watching the videos. As I said, guys, this has been a 2019 roadmap of what you can expect from Indie Credible. We look forward to bringing you the best and latest indie game content that we can this year. And we look forward to chatting to you guys, as I said, in the comments. But if you do want to support us on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/IndieCredible now, or hit the link below. Until next time, guys, let's have an Indie Credible 2019. Goodbye.